resurrection of our people. The old world must be removed to make a way for a new world. There is a universal struggle being waged by the old world against the beginning of a new world, where the old world opposition prevents the establishment of a new world. According to recorded history, the effect being made by the old world against the beginning of a new world will fail, as did former opponents of Allah. According to history of Noah, the people ridiculed the very doubts of Allah, bringing a flood to drown them. Noah was laughed at and succumbed for preaching such a doctrine according to the Bible and the Holy Quran. He was called a liar and looked upon as a crazy person. Some of the members of Noah's family joined the mockers and disbelievers of Allah and his messengers, who was Noah. They met the same fate as the others who disbelieved. The opposition of that world to event of a better world was total a failure. So shall it be with those today who oppose the beginning of a new world of righteousness, Islam, in time of Abraham and his nephew Lot, before the birth of Ismail and Isaiah, Isaac and Abraham, two sons, the people mockers and haters of truth and righteousness in that parts of the world. The cities of Sodom and Gomorrah have become victimized to every imaginable evil. They even threaten the life of the preacher of righteousness Lot, disregarding the strangers. Angels visiting Lot until it was too late. So it is with the opponents of the messenger of Allah today in America. The wicked always believe that they are mightier than Allah, and they make a supreme effort to work the plan and purpose of Allah to bring about a better world. They always love to attack the messengers. They try to condemn him as a liar. Trying to prove the messenger a liar means calling Allah a liar. The Holy Quran repeatedly prophesies a miserable, shameful, and disgraceful defeat for the disbelievers and hypocrites in a campaign against the last messenger of Allah, whom Allah will rise in the time of the resurrection of the dead people. Doing fine, top of the morning. The messenger are never sick. They are always rise in the midst of those whom Allah will warn. So they can't claim that they did not understand the language of the messenger or say that he was a forger or stranger. The messenger is one for them. For nearly 34 years I have served you, just as Allah, a warner of old, served a hard-headed, disbelieving people who was great lovers and enemies of Allah, and the true religion of Islam, which means entire submission to Allah. Will. There is mockery and evil plans are made against my life by the wicked, just as it was made against Noah, the prophet. The powerful rich world of Christianity, especially America, is made to seem as movable as the mountains, but it's not impossible to remove mountains. They can be removed by high explosive, so wealth and power also can be reduced to nothing. We are now living in the judgment or doom of this white man's world. Preparation had been made to meet every effort by the white man to oppose the beginning and setting up of Allah's new world of righteousness, Islam. The governments of USA today watch my followers with an evil eye, seeking to deceive anyone who will enter the fold to help further the cause of truth and the upliftments of the mourning heads and the grieving hearts of the American so-called, to help make them a nation of righteousness and justice, to serve as a star for their nation and their own kind forever. The U.S. government is active in its deceitful work of trying to slow the progress of the resurrection of our people. The American white want us to reject Allah and the true religion of Islam and believe in their false religions and false gods when they cannot make manifest to you. They cannot prove to you in this day and time that Christianity is a defense for you, as well as for themselves against their doom. America must be taken and destroyed, according to the prophet, at the time and end of this wicked world, where the lost and found members of the ancients people are found. America hates and mistreats her slave to the extent that it has reached the hearts of Allah and the righteous people of the earth, the nation of Islam. Read where our black brothers refer to the American so-called Negro as their brothers, while according to the preaching of some of these lost and found members of the nation of the earth, they rather have themselves referred to as their brothers or their enemies. The extent to which enemy have poisoned the minds and hearts of my people here in America is shameful. They willfully do anything to deceive the so-called Negro into going into their doom with them. There is no way for an enemy of Allah, his messengers, his people, the dark people, of the earth to find strength, power, and wisdom enough to win in a war against Allah, as it is written in the Christian Bible and many other places. But the days of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, and you with the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the element shall melt with a fervent heat. The earth also and the work that are therein shall be burnt up. The Bible, Peter chapter 3:10. The earth shall not be burnt up. It will be here for many thousand years to come. Only that on the earth the devil which has sinned against Allah and his laws will be destroyed. The earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars have never disobeyed Allah since their creation. The opposer of truth. Adam and Eve, the father and mother of this right race, is the real name, refused the religion of Islam peace because of their nature, which they was made. It's making it impossible for the right race to submit to Allah and obey his laws of righteousness. This is the lost found members of the nation from the tribe. We must learn of the right race as a race assigned to seek mercy and justice from a people who by nature do not have it for each other. They talk and preach the goodness of God and his prophets only to deceive you, who by nature are not the God of righteousness, and to fall them away from our God to a God who does not exist. Our future is at stake, and 99% of us do not know it. With every evil spooner around you seeking an excuse, do their worst to you, make it hard for the 99% ignorant to ever know the truth. The great desire is to prevent you from ever accepting the truth. They claim the truth, but they hate real teachings. They seek any kind of charge to place against us to get revenge for our preaching the truth. They trap our telephones and follow us around from place to place and use tape recording machines. And the hypocrites stew pigeons amongst us, keep them up to date on what we say and do. They are bold enough to even ask your own relatives to help them to do you evil and due to fear and ignorancy on the parts of my poor people. Enemy hired them to destroy themselves. The truth hurts the guilty. With persecution, murder of the truth, bears help the evildoers in this late hour of the day, the end of their time. Our problem must be solved, says Allah. God of righteousness is with you and me to raise us up, the poor, lost, and found members of the original owners of the planet, the tribe. A good solution is as follows. Stop opposing the spread of Islam peace amongst us. Let us go back to our God, Allah, and our religion of Islam peace, since you will not give us the so-called and equal justice and do not want social mixing with your free slave because of degrading and lowering own status in the eyes of the world. Help us to go for ourselves, neither out or in your countries. For 400 years we have served you with our labor, sweat, and blood, the last of your whoops, your killing, lynching, and burning of our innocent black flesh, without even a hearing in a court of justice, nor even our murders being punished, although we are marched before your enemies. And there we pour our life for the freedom of your life, children, in your countries. Return home to meet an even worse enemy. We are hated and kicked out of certain places like unwanted dogs who have caught the game, but was not given a taste of it. Only that with the hunter could not and should not eat himself. The dog being too ignorant to recognize the injustice done to him by his master would jump to his feet again at the call of his master to offer his life for his master life. This we have and are still doing for you. We are now wanted in your better neighborhoods. In many places, we are to be guarded and protected by your armed force in order to live in your house, which one of your kind has sold to us. Yet we are the most peaceful and honest of the population. We are taxed equally and perhaps more than those of our own kind, who are the real citizen owner of this country of America. Though our labors and the labors of our father made and built it for you. So you think over, millions of us working, fighting, dying at your hands, and others for 400 years without a home, which we can call not being allowed to worship our God religion, nor have unity among self and our kind, without being charged with the worst crime, seeking to overthrow the government by force. So we have no arm to do such, just to have an excuse for you persecuting, seeking to kill the same poor 400-year-old slave. The deceivers and the deceived. With the whole nation of the law-found members of the black nation in America must remember that for the past 400 years we have been aware by the enemies of our fathers. Now white America is agreeing to deport migrants, immigration. They have set up a law to agree this deportation. See, right in South Africa, white America is trying to bring people to be deported in a country, my brothers and sisters, that was never theirs. You see, in a country that was never theirs. So how dare they make a law into effect to deport migrants, immigration. See, this is your trouble today. You are deceived by the deceiver that think that they are mightier than God, that think that they can thwart his plan until he comes, who right it is to rule. I want to say, never no more will the earth be let out to these non-owners. Because the earth is the Lord and the fullness of it. And if he don't like you govern the earth, he'll move you off the earth as he's doing today. So we see, according to their own history, writing, bringing us up from our native lands and people into the Western hemisphere was not for the purpose of making themselves friendly people to us and our nation, but to deceive us as being that which they actually were, not a friend and a vice to us, while at the same time depriving us of truth, justice, and equality, even now after 400 years of servitude, slavery. We must remember that the deceiver actually had deceived us, the coming of God, and the person Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, is to make manifest this arch deceiver, work against us, and to equip us with the nature of the arch deceiver, that deceits is part of his very nature. He allowed come to give us the knowledge of the God of evil. We have freedom for the past 6,000 years to deceive not only you and me, also the entire nation of the earth. So we see, after 6,000 years, the devil been on this planet. He has been a manipulator, a deceiver, a trickster. And see, in their hearts, they deceive the black man in America. So there's no future for white America when she don't have a future for herself. This is the greatest starvation that God Allah could bring to you and me, to know the source of our trouble and cause. The power of the manifestators is to remove this cause which has affected the black nation for 6,000 years. It is worth the heaven and earth to us. We agree on not trying to make them our friends, which by nature they cannot be, even if they wanted to. Only few have the breed for goodness by nature. They are not good, but they can practice goodness. Our position makes us the victims of deceits of these great scientific deceivers, the right race. They put us to sleep as babies, and they know the type of noise that are waking the sleeping baby. Noise is that which Allah and the person of Master Muhammad has made. Your Allah has missioned me. Continue to make that noise until all our people are fully awakened on the slumber of the earth deceiver, of the nations, of the earth. Surely now all are really working to keep us blind, deaf, and dumb to the knowledge of the deceivers. But the few who will help us endanger their own life in trying to help us. As you see, the Christian priest in Milwaukee who professes to be trying to help those who want to live next door, the house of our children, of our father's slave master, is having trouble. Even this easy can be classified as deceitful work against truth, freedom, justice, and equality for our people. This priest is having trouble amongst our open, vigorous haters of you and me of his kind. This priest wants to help the poor black man here in America, especially in Milwaukee, to set forth friendship, to ever be at their mercy, to rule spiritually, economically, and politically. He is not trying to teach this black man that they should not want to sell themselves back to their slave master for a morsel of pottage. This priest knows by the scripture in his Bible the time is right for the total freedom of the 400-year-old slave of this white man to go to his owner. This priest is wise to you that you should have a place to live wherever you want. You will not have dare teach this openly before this day and time, the end of this war. The others are so evil and victorious to do us harm. That great gang of white people out in the streets will attack that one poor black man going through the area in his car and will yell, "Get that nigga." This is a coward action of the white man in America ever since we have been here, going at the so-called nigga to do him harm. You always want 100 rights to attack that one nigga. This shows cowardice and the savage attempts of the white race against black people. The black man could put a stop to such attack of this evil force. But it's not the way of Allah God. It's not the way of the prediction. As the priest knows, the coming of Allah in search for the black lost members of their nation today is to make himself known so he can conquer our captors by using weapons against which they have no powers. He Allah will bring the attack of divine judgment of the world without the use of contrived weapons. The weapons of war used by God in the past history of destruction of the enemies of God, such as Noah's people, Lot's people, and Moses' people, are example of what he will use today. The weapons are the force of nature against which we have no defense. America is under such divine attacks now, and storms as rain, hail, and earthquakes. The latter yet to take place. A terrific drought is on its way too against America. The books must be fulfilled. The Bible and Holy Quran both refer to all that has said. This is the divine judgment to bring victorious America to her knees. See, America hates the people of God, and the Negro do not know that they are really the people of God. It's a great truth that you must come to a knowledge of that. You are a member of the families of God, and not the members of the family of the devil. But you follow the devil's country to your own nature. The natural man, black, is of his God himself. We have been deceived of righteousness, justice, and equality by the art deceivers. We have been taken from the knowledge of self as being the true people of God, and that God is present, seeking us to place us again into the orbit of divine supreme being, where we can rotate into submission to the will of God as the entire universe is doing, except the right ways. We cannot set up a better government for our people by using the corrupt political activities of these people, the arch deceivers. All of their work was based upon deceiving the nation, not to bring them into friendly brotherhood and prosperity for the black man. Even today, after 400 years of the so-called freedom, he is still against you going free. This is your trouble today. You are deceived and deceived by the enemy you think is a friend. But take notes of what he's offering you. He is offering you only a temporary enjoyment and not a permanent enjoyment for your people. We want some earth and not a temporary room in the house of our enemies. Let the political and spiritual leaders unite on such a stand as getting some earth for the people and not getting just a job and a chance to lower around sleeping, allowing the enemy to protect our responsibility for self. We must bear our own responsibility. This is the God of justice and truth will force you to do before he will be defeated. His purpose and aim is to unite us to our own. He will fight the arch deceiver with the force of nature, with his own wisdom, which has no equal to make you enemy bow to his will. This is the judgment of the world, especially of the white man in America who have been here for 400 years, living between the two oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific, to do as he pleases. Slave is deprived of freedom to do as he pleases, but to do as the slave master pleases. Our great misunderstanding of self and of others lies the deceits of the arch deceiver of us. They will never teach you and me to do good for self, only under their own power and dictatorship. What we need is unite, not demanding and marching over the country to live near the white man in his home, but demand a separate place for us in this country to help us with the means of civilization and see how to get started limiting the time. Get started within the next 20 or 25 years. Many scientists think that it's too late for this demand because of the anger of Allah, God, against America for evil done to us. But Allah has power over all things, and he does that which he will to do. It is up to America if she wants to help us. It'd be a great good putting us on the way to self by any evil one or nation. God the justice will grant them reward for doing such, as no good act goes without its reward. They deceived the so-called under temptation, filth, and the promise that they will be given jobs and new homes next door to them in the same territory, which the very nature is against and which is without any future. It is temporary enjoyment. We want something permanent. Give us a few of these days to live in to ourselves, which we have well earned it with 400 years of free labor. When you see that his life and your life are at stake to try to set the present plan filled with deceits, the Negro, both you and he, will welcome an opportunity to agree on that kind of program. Unite with me, Black America, for your starvation. evil spreading far and wide. Never since the creation of Adam and Eve had there been such time as we are witnessing today, with the worst yet to come. There is no peace amongst the nation of the earth. The only few people who enjoy peace of mind and contentment in this day and time are the elect of God, though they are persecuted from city to city, falsely accused and denied the credit due them because of their righteousness and the malice of the wicked who have ruled the world. By no means can the righteous be represented for their righteous sake by the evildoers of the world. God is despised and rejected. Evil is accepted. And honor and justice stands afar off, and equity cannot come in, said the prophet Isaiah in the Bible. The Holy Quran warns us to fear a day when evil is spread far and wide, in the days of God's presence, at the end of the satanic world, to bring it to nothing. Allah died caused the evil world to be upset, since there have been enemies of peace, and the haters and destroyers of the righteous, who have brought them peace if they had accepted those worthy of the prophets. But they reject all Jesus charged them with, being the murderers of the righteous. From Abel to Zechariah, we can very well add more and said from Abel to Muhammad. This is what I do every morning. Top of the morning to you, my brother. Today, America professes to be the most Christianized country on our planet. But actually, she is not. For Christian means to be Christianized and to one spiritually, that one refers to the Christ. Christ means the one who is coming at the end of the world, or the wicked as a crusher. The name actually means one who is anointed to crush the wicked. The real satanic people are the right race, who have discussed themselves, deceive the black people to follow them. They just use the name Christian, which means to be Christ-like. That I set up a head for the religion in Rome, Italy, with the Pope or Father who represent himself as being the intercessor, meaning one who is second only to Christ and God, intercede for the people's sins, the recognition of God. But he has no divine backing. This false should be destroyed by the Christ, the crusher of the wicked, the great of Islam, Allah, God in person. These are the days of God, of Christ's presence, to destroy this evil world with all the deception that the people should again labor under a wicked ruler, the devil. The presence of Allah has upset the devil, who have and had exercised total control over the world under falsehood, and has made evil to appear fair seemingly. The so-called Christian world had never before displayed such madness as they do today, since they cannot hide the real wickedness in this deceitful ways. They are angry, according to the preaching and teaching of Christianity. They prophesied that they alone would be the happy group that would welcome the coming of the Messiah, the Christ. But the Bible condemned them, that they was angry and sought to hide their face from him, God. It should be clear to you today that Christian America does not want such preaching as entire submission to the will of Allah, Islam. The Christian hate the very name of God, such as Muhammad, which are attribute of God. But Jesus prophesied that they will hate you for his God namesake, for having one of his names. Because the name of God are to live forever. No, the name of God are to live forever. None of the people on earth have the names of God, but the Muslims. So the coming of just one make manifest to you this evil race of sinners, and it will be against this God's presence. Be angry because of him. Who will seek to destroy him and his messengers, as it is prophesied in 2 Psalms. Every nation hath a term, and every nation hath a term. So when a terms come, they cannot remain behind at least, while nor can they preside. The Holy Quran, Surah 734, there was a term from the people of Noah, Lot, and Moses. This also holds truth in the life and death of individuals. All is under control of Almighty Allah, especially when the divine beginning and ending have been appointed for the accomplishments. It's teamwork that must be done by life of people. The above chapter and verses of the Holy Quran is a warning to the present nation, whose term is now coming to an end. If we know what is said to us, what is written by the prophet for us to read, study, and plan over, and if we understand, we shall not fall victim to misunderstanding and disbelief. The trouble with the black man in America is that he is heedless of the truth, for he was wearied by the slave false appearance who was his enemy, the right race, that caused him to become heedless. It was the intention of the enemy to make the black man enemy to the truth as himself was and is. This the enemy was successful in doing. For the black man in America is referred to as being blind, deaf, and dumb, in many instances as dead. This is the work of the enemy. Therefore, it took one who is our friend and not our enemy to do good to us and to restore us to life mentally. The children of the father slave masters who took our life mentally are working as faithfully as their fathers did. So we see when it comes to the Holy Quran, warning to the present nation whose term is now coming to an end. So while America's term has come to an end, and see, corruption has appeared in a land in which man's hands has created. See, however, since 100 years, my brothers and sisters, had elapsed from the time of their slave fathers, the children are wiser and educated more in method to keep the black man in America blind, deaf, and dumb. In the days of servitude slavery of our grandparents, the white slave master did not even give them good food. Today you can buy good food if you have the money. However, much of it is poisoned by chemical use. See, the white slave master will offer a piece of fried chicken and a biscuit with a little butter on it to a so-called nickel as an introducement for him to teach or preach what the slave master wanted him to all other slaves on Sunday morning. See, the slave did not have the theology of the scriptures, and he made his other brothers spiritually blind, deaf, and dumb. Same goes for the preachers of today. As you can see, they preach for reward for both whites and blacks. I have tried them for many years. They are as their fathers were, desire the exhortation of this white man. They want him to give them better positions, and they will offer to cut off the heads of their black brothers if it would please their masters. See, although I live in a neighborhood with white neighbors, I do so for the purpose of proving that I can live in a neighborhood just as cleanly and noisily as they do. White people do not like you to come to their neighborhood jumping on them and licking them in the mouth like a puppy. They do not want their friends to think that they are taking you for an equal. He will talk to you as a friend when he is not in the presence of his members of his society. They do not like you coming to their blocks, beating your wife or girlfriends, and drinking in front of their houses. No decent, intelligent person likes this, whether he is white as snow or black as the ace of spade. You can go to the jungles, and you will not want this. See, late at night, he and a gang of monkeys will come out and beat you up. The American so-called Negro have been made out of himself and kind by the white Americans. He must now be reformed. In fact, God has promised him a new body. The Bible and Holy Quran teach us that we will be a new people altogether. He will destroy and act ignorant and foolish. He is not aware of his ignorant action because he had become a part of ignorancy. Now the end of the term which was set for the white man have come. The average so-called Negro, the lost-found members of the black nation, does not know that this is the end of the world of this white man, his rule over the black nation. He will not listen to one of his own kind who tell or teaches him of the time and doom of the world that we have known, white man's world. They offer high position and money to the so-called Negro intellectual politician who will work against the good of the black American people. They will accept such, but they have been deprived of love for self and kind. What do they care about the millions who are splundering the mud of civilization? They are content as long as they eat the butter biscuit and the fried chicken as their slave fathers did. You will not think that they will hire themselves out to be stew pigeons, white man bootlickers, and Uncle Toms in these modern times and advanced education. They are doing just that. They do not want the praise and exhortation of God and their own black people. They want it from their slave master children. Slave master children will give it to them as long as they reject themselves in kind and worship and exalt the white people. The white man very clever in making a public fool of the black man. They show the brown and yellow man what a good job they have done on the black man in America and throughout the earth. Is doing what nature bid him to do. I do not blame this white man anymore for making fools of our people. It is the nature of the white man to make a fool of our people. But it is not the nature of our people to allow him to make a fool of us. But when you have been given the knowledge of yourself, the nature in which God created you, you still allow the enemy to make a fool of you, and you not have the sympathy of God and the righteous, not after knowledge. The divine term that was given to the right race to allow them to make a fool of the black man, his rule, him with tricks is now up. The devil with his tricks must be removed. He was given this chance to deceive you with his trickology, and therefore God will not hinder the devil from tricking you if he can. This is written in the Holy Quran, chapter 7. But God promised hell fire to both the devil and his followers. We can get from the black nation. Therefore, you and I, after the knowledge of the devil, his tricks, his terms, should not blame anyone but ourselves. If we allow the devil to trick us, for that is the job of the devil. It is his nature. We blame ourselves and not the enemy. We lust for his half-nude women and thirst for whiskey and beer. We desire gambling, robbing, killing each other for the personal properties of others. This is the work of the devil upon you. You do not have to allow him to cause you to live such a life. Do not blame them. Blame your foolish self. It has always been the policy of the white man to use a black man against a black man, especially leaders. Look at history. See how he had deceived it and killed off the black leaders in foraging lands, and then they took over themselves. This should be a lesson for you and I. Will a Muslim have watched our people who have come amongst us as eyes and ears and stew pigeons for white folks? When they have become converted to the truth and joined us, they confess that they are ashamed that they have worked against us for the sake of a few perishable dollars. We know that the white man's our enemy. And whatever we are, he offers some silly so-called a high office and high pay to work against us Muslims, the righteous, or any so-called where he be a Baptist, Methodist, holy roller, or sanctified. Some lazy so-called work against him for this white man. It is a shame in such modern times to see black politicians and preachers accepting positions to work against their own black people for a few dollars from a race whose time have come to an end. We are justified in taking it if the white man give us $1 billion or $100 billion. We deserve it, but we are not justified to sell our life for such a gift in this day and time. See, we are justified in taking it if the white man gives us $1 billion or $100 billion. We deserve it. So we deserve our restitution. But we are not justified, my brothers and sisters, to sell our life in this day and time. Declare yourself being a Muslim and see how much this white devil will give you. He would say we will give it to you if you preach that we are not devils. See, that's just the saying. If you teach that we are not devils, I continue to take care of you. So declare yourself being a Muslim today and see how much this white devil will give you. He would say we will give it to you if you preach that we are not devils. We will answer that it's just the same as saying, if you do not teach the truth of me, so I can continue to deceive the world of your kind, I will help you. Remember what the Bible teaches us, that Satan said to Jesus, all these things I will give you if you fall down and worship me. Matthew 4:9. And he showed him the kingdoms of the world. Perhaps you will be offered the world of this wicked pretty soon. And so the Bible says, what profit a man if he gains the world and lose his own life soul? This is a warning to the preachers. The little money with its dying value will not help you against God's aim and purpose of the resurrection of the dead, lost, found members of the nation. You lose your life for so doing you should, when you cause innocent ones who are blind, deaf, and dumb to go to hell with yourself and the enemies. Allah God came forth in the person of Master Muhammad, to praise is due forever. The Son of Man, as it is written, seeking to save that which was lost, and to restore again that which had gone astray. He said to me that he would eat the rattlesnake to save our life, and that he would walk 40 miles up a mountain to teach just one in order to save his life in exchange for our safety and return to our own. I had taken him for my God and my Savior. I invite you to do the same regardless of the offer of the money with its fast becoming worthless. Jesus refused the money and dwelt upon the truth that is written that we must not worship Satan, this white devil. Satan places behind us and not in front of us. It is the nature of Satan to try and deceive the very angels in heaven, not to think of the fools who are in his hell. In the Bible Revelation, it is written that you accept the enemy and go down in a lake of fire with him. Read the fallen passage of your Bible withdraw on the time of yourself. Do not serve this white devil, for he don't have a permanent place for himself. So why will you serve this white devil? Because all these things he will give you if you bow down. We bow down to no one but God. the creator. America, the American white people are more concerned about mistreating the black one slave of America than America is concerned with any nation on earth that's attacking her outlying posts. Her enemy are intensifying the attack on her. America right out of the frying pan into the fire all over there due to her evil intention against her loyal black one slave. Her talk of evil doing against the black one slave in America is worse than it is against independent nations that they are trying to attack and destroy her countries. White America has more hatred for the black one slave and her millers who are faithfully fighting on the frying line to help her against her enemies than she is against the enemies that they are shooting down. White America talks of building concentration camps, prison house for the black one slave, the black man in America. I'm told that America already have concentration camps built for this purpose. Concentration camps are jailhouse, prison houses. This is why I cry day and night to my black brothers to seek refuge in Allah, God, in such a time as this. The Muslim do not have to worry about any such imprisonment, for the Muslim is already a citizen of the nation of Islam, and we have our own people, Muslim, to deliver us by the order of God. This is why it's so necessary that the black man in America accept Allah God in his name and get out of the names of the enemy, white slave master, who does not seek to bring about peace for us, but the enemy seeks to bring about our death. White America want her black slave to suffer that which is not due to the black one slave. The black one slave has not sinned, nor has the black one slave attacked other nations, except under the orders of his white slave masters. Independence Day. Who independence? Since 76, you black men have been worshiping the 4th of July, along with the real authors of the 4th of July, the white man, as a day of independence for himself. See, black man, since 1776, you've been worshiping this 4th of July along with the white man. It is the white slave master and his children who enjoy setting forth the 4th of July as a day of rejoicing over achieving this country of independence from any other foreign source. Now, the history of the 4th of July shows that it is the Independence Day of the American white man that wrote the Declaration of Independence for himself. The white man did not put anything in the Declaration of Independence for the benefits of the black man who was the servitude slave of the white man at that time. The joy which the black slave experienced on these holidays of the white man was due to the black man getting rest from his labor, and a day which the white man have set aside for celebration. That is all the black slave was rejoicing on, that he did not have to work that day. So they took this day of 1776 as a day to conquer the Independence Day. So all this time, my brothers and sisters, you put your right hand in your heart. You said, I pledge allegiance to the flag of United States of America. You see, one nation under God with liberty and justice for who? For whites, man. For whites. For whites. Liberty and justice for who? For whites, man. That's why their day is outnumbered. That's why their day is cut out for them. Their day is cut out. Because 6,000 years the devil been here on this planet Earth, there have been one war right after another. That's why their day is cut out. That's why you can't no longer sit with them. because the devil is going to try to bring you into his fall of this white America. You are not to sit with them any longer. You is to come out of her. Come out of her, my people. You know, her sins have heaped all into heaven. God has remembered her iniquity. So now you got to double into her cup as she double into your cup. Now, my brothers and sisters, I want to say, but you are free. Now, and you do not need this for an excuse when you're worshiping of the 4th of July. There is no further need for us to worship the ganging of this white man's independency. Let us take a look again at our own black independency and how it came on this same day of the 4th of July at the coming of Allah, God who came in the person of Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever. On July 4th, 1930, the significance of his coming to us on the Independence Day of the white man is very great. It is their day of great rejoicing, as with former people and their governments. Their destruction took place when it was at the heights of their rejoicing. The kings, according to the Bible history of him, we see Daniel chapter 4, walking around in his palace and proudly looking around and admiring the skills of the work he has set up, and says, "Have not all this my hands have made?" The Bible teaches us that while the word was in his mouth, the end came. Allah God changed his mind and heart from that of a civilized man to a mind and heart of a beast. He had the brain reaction of a wild beast, and he was cast out amongst the dung. What does that signifies? It gives us a gleaning into the history of the white man is being cast out. The society of the Muslims 6,000 years ago, after he was made, and then started trouble amongst the people of righteousness. Troublemaking calls the white man and his exile to the hill and cave sides of West Asia, as Europe was called at that time. So Allah, God taught me. The name was changed to Europe after the white man was cast into that area. Europe means a place where people are bound in to keep them out of society of the righteous. Moses made the white man as the independent race through the guidance which Allah God gave Moses to guide the white man out of his savage cage life and put him on the road of conquest of the black man. For 400 years, the white man swallowed us. The black man of America, he did not put us in a hole or in the earth, but he swallowed us up by keeping anything like wisdom from coming to us. He set it bound against our own black people visiting us in order to prevent them from teaching us anything other than what the white man was teaching our black slave fathers. This caged us in and made just as secure a cage as the literal cage of Europe that the Arab people put the white man in 6,000 years ago. The 4th of July is a day of rejoicing of the white man over his opponents for the Western hemisphere. He wrote his constitution for his own white people and not for the black slave. Since this is his day which he has set aside for himself, and what part, black brothers, do you have in this day? The part is not mixed with his part in a way of his own white politics and physical independency. But as I call your attention to proud king history and what happened to him at the heights of his king, Allah God never destroyed powerful people, nor deprived them of self-independency when they was in trouble or when they were sick with grief. He made them to feel happy. He made them think that they would live forever. Okay, you guys, check back with you shortly. I'm out. Peace. Shalom.